Welcome back and happy Wednesday to you. This is Mrs. Johnson, and I'm going to go over our science agenda for the week of March 3rd through the 9th. So, in our folder here for Unit 3 Weather and Climate, this is where we're going to find this week's folder, which is going to be called 3.5 Space Dive, March 3 through 9. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm actually really looking forward to this week's lesson. Last week, we started looking at layers of the atmosphere. And so we learned that there are actually 4 different layers to the atmosphere. And our lesson kind of talked about some of the different characteristics of these different layers. We're going to be taking that information this week and applying it to this web quest that I'm going to have you guys do called Space Dive. So let me go ahead really quickly and kind of give you the overview here and give you some other information, and then I'll walk you through where to find all of this stuff. So we are continuing on with our exploration of the atmosphere. If you did not get last week's lesson done, then the slides and the notebook template that you need to copy from are linked up here for you guys. I actually don't have any new slides for you guys to copy this week, but like I said, if you didn't go in and do the layers of the atmosphere lesson last week, then here are the slides and here's what you need. You'll need slides 12 through 15 for that. But if you have done last week's lesson, then you're ready to continue on. And if you're here watching this weekly overview video, that is so wonderful. If you're watching this Wednesday, March 3rd, then you get full points if you go in and answer the question in the discussion. So we have Science Now, as always. This week we are on row 5. So go ahead, log your weather. Now, we've been doing this for 5 weeks now. This will be our 5th week. And I want you to keep logging that weather because we're going to go back here in just a couple weeks and look at what kind of trends we notice. And we'll start to use that weather log and put it into play more. But before we do that, we need to do a little web quest here, and the theme is Space Dive. And I really don't want to reveal too much because I just think this is really cool and really fun. So I kind of don't want to give it away. But this week, you're going to be exploring and looking at the highest free fall in human history. So there is a document in Schoology that is going to give you instructions of what to do for this web quest. And then the last thing, when you're all finished, there is a discussion in Schoology where you're going to be posting some of your thoughts. Now, as a heads up, we're going to be taking a quiz on layers of the atmosphere next week. So that is the following week, March 10 through 16. And so what I've given you guys is an atmosphere study guide, also posted for you in Schoology. The other thing that I'm going to be asking you guys to do this week is to have a check-in with me. And this is something that I am scheduling for each and every one of you in our online class. So please spread the word, especially if you have a friend in our online class who you know doesn't typically check in or do the weekly overviews or, kind of keep up with stuff in class. Spread the word. But I hold office hours every week from 10:30 to 11:15 on Mondays and Tuesdays. And then I also hold office hours from 10 to 11 a.m. on Wednesdays. And during these office hours, I've asked for you guys to come and check in. And a lot of you really just haven't. And so I really need to get with you, and I really need to see how things are going for you in the class, see where you're at, and see where I can be of assistance. So what I have done is I've actually scheduled everybody in our online class for a 10-minute check-in with me this coming week. So what I want to do is I want to meet with each and every one of you individually. I just want to review where are you at in your notebook. We've gone through 3 lessons now in our notebook. So I want to actually check in with you, see where you're at on that. I want to see what your progress is in the class. And then I also want to discuss your grade with you. So I do want to keep these short and sweet and be very respectful of your time. I have given a 10-minute time slot to each and every one of you. So you'll need to go on here, find your name, and look and see, are you scheduled for Monday, the 8th, Tuesday, the 9th, or Wednesday, the 10th? So please be mindful. So for instance, for Stella, she's going to have her check-in with me on Monday at 10:30 to 10:40. And so that's just going to be a really quick little check-in. It may be less than 10 minutes, depending on what you need. But please note your time slot and please be on time for your check-in so that I can get to everybody and give you the time and attention that I would love to show you. If you have questions about that, please reach out to me through email or Microsoft Teams. Here are your instructions. So these slides are linked for you right with the agenda in Schoology. Here are the instructions for Science Now. Like I said, we're on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're down here on row 5. As per usual, this text box right here is a link to the NOAA website where you will find information regarding your local weather conditions. So we are going to be logging temperature. We're going to be logging barometer reading, which is indicative of air pressure, and then also humidity. Oops, I need to change that. So sorry, that's row 5, not row 4. Ms. Johnson will change that. Okay, so your Space Dive web quest. This week, we are exploring. Last week in our Layers of the Atmosphere lesson, I actually gave you a video that featured a man named Joe Kittinger, who in 1960 achieved the highest free fall ever done by a human. And over the years, many people have tried to beat his record, and many have failed. So this web quest this week actually explores another person by the name of Felix Baumgartner, who attempted to complete the highest free fall ever achieved. So you're going to go in to Schoology, and under this folder, 3.5 Space Dive, there is a document called Space Dive Web Quest. There are 3 parts to this web quest. There is a reading, there is a video that is assigned for you in Edpuzzle, and then there is a discussion. So there are 3 parts to this video, and basically you're just going to be guided in an exploration of everything that they had to do to prepare to make the jump possible, and then what actually happened. So I hope that you enjoy that. I hope that you find it really interesting and learn some new things. And I'm really excited to hear your thoughts in the discussion, and hopefully maybe even get to hear from you directly what you thought during our check-in next week. Okay, so aside from the Space Dive, that's really going to be the bulk of your lesson this week. And then you have the Atmosphere Study Guide in Schoology. This is going to prepare you for your quiz on layers of the atmosphere next week. And what I'm going to be providing you with is next week a Kahoot that you will be able to check your answers to the study guide, prepare for your quiz, and then next week, March 10th through 16th, you'll take your quiz. So if you have questions, if you need assistance during our check-in time that I have scheduled for you, would be a great time. And of course, you can always, going back up to our initial agenda slide, you can always reach out to me on Microsoft Teams or through email. And like I said, this I'm filming this video on Tuesday for you guys. Wednesday, I'll have office hours. So like I said, if you need to jump on Zoom for that, I will also be available to you. So if we just kind of jump out of there and go over into this folder in Schoology. So here is your document for your web quest. Here is the discussion for your web quest. And then here is your study guide. So that really takes you through everything for the week. It's all right there in that folder 3.5 Space Dive. So in terms of your question for the week, what I really am curious to know is, based on our lesson last week where we learned about layers of the atmosphere, I would really love to know something that you learned that was either new that you hadn't heard before, or something that surprised you. But, we talked about how we have these 4 different layers of the atmosphere, and we don't necessarily always think about how we have layers to our atmosphere. So that was basically what our lesson covered. So in the discussion, share with me one fact that you learned last week that you didn't know before, or that surprised you. And that's going to do it. I hope that you guys just have a wonderful week. And I'm looking forward to checking in with you and seeing how everything is going. So until I see you and talk to you next time, take care. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.